And now for our example of secant. So this one is going to be shifted, but we start off the same way. I take the inside and set it equal to a negative pi halves. Negative pi halves is the same as a negative 2 pi fourths. So I add 5 pi fourths. So I get 3 pi fourths. Then I take, again, theta minus 5 pi fourths, and I set it equal to 3 pi halves. This is the same as 6 pi fourths. So when I add that, I get 11 pi fourths. So if you want, you can find their average, or again, halfway in between, okay? Normally this is at a negative pi halves and 3 pi halves. My middle one is going to be at pi halves. So if I wanted to, I can take theta minus 5 pi fourths equals pi halves. This is again 2 pi fourths. So when I add that, I get 7 pi fourths. So those are going to be my beginning of my period, middle of my period, and end of my period. Okay? So here is 3 pi fourths. Seven pi fourths. And 11 pi fourths. On this particular graph, my period is still 2 pi. And so I could fit one more asymptote here, and that's all that I'm going to be able to fit on this particular graph. So same as all the rest of them, halfway in between, so at pi fourths. You need to know if this branch is going to be opening up or opening down. That's the most important part with these, is figuring out which is which. So if I plug in pi fourths minus 5 pi fourths is a negative pi. Cosine of a negative pi is negative 1, and then the reciprocal of negative 1 is negative 1. And once I know that, I know there's no stretching and shrinking whatsoever, so that same shape, this is going to be at about 1.4 and this is going to be at 2, is going to be exactly the same. It's not going to have changed. And then here, if I go halfway in between, this is going to be 5 pi fourths. Well, 5 pi fourths minus 5 pi fourths is 0. Cosine of 0 is 1, so the secant is also 1. And now we know the pattern, so I can just continue down here. And I'm not going to really even be able to fit one in here. I could maybe fudge it and put one here and here and here if I really wanted to. But that's kind of stretching it. So